Last year, French men and women spent nearly €3 billion on makeup, skin care and perfumes. We all know beauty comes at a cost, but is it just financial? The P.I.P breast implant scandal reminded the world that efforts to enhance our appearance are not always safe. This week, we take a look at the inherent risks that still exist in the business of looking good. Coming up, British experts warn that anti-aging injections could be the next scandal to hit the cosmetic surgery industry. We explore the largely unregulated market of facial fillers. Next, a dangerous desire to have a fairer complexion. French authorities have launched a campaign against the use of extreme skin whitening products. We investigate why and how so many people continue to use them. And finally, a US import that's promising a whiter and brighter smile. Teeth whitening bars are popping up around France, but dentists are warning that appearances can be deceiving. At around 25 years of age, the skin's natural regenerative process begins to slow and we start to notice the first visible signs of aging. It's at this point in time that many women and men begin to look for ways to halt the process. Here we're looking at something known as a facelift through acupuncture. What are the risks associated with this practice?
The practice is risk-free. The needles aren't inserted close to any organs. They're inserted into the skin. It's fine for pregnant women to have a facelift through acupuncture. There are no injections or chemical products involved, so it's perfectly safe.
By contrast, anti-aging injections are attracting unprecedented attention in the wake of the P.I.P breast implant scandal. Experts are warning that lax regulation around these facial fillers are paving the way for the next health scare. This next report from our correspondents in London.
Paula has come to this discreet clinic for a procedure that she hopes will be equally discreet, a dermal filler injection.
Yeah, here.
The injection is carried out by a qualified nurse in hospital-like conditions.
Oh wow, what a difference! God, really, really different. As a client, you'd be foolish not to do your research and make sure that who you're seeing is reputable, because there are so many people that can just randomly do this.
That's because in the United Kingdom, this is an unregulated business. Even a beautician could have performed the injection.
Yeah, I'll see you in about 4 weeks.
Fantastic, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For her clinic, Director Julie Mackay employs only qualified personnel, and when it comes to sourcing products, only the very best will do. For this distributor, it's more a case of self-regulation when it comes to the sale of anti-aging injections.
The state of regulation is quite loose as far as legal requirements go, but within the industry there are very strong protocols. You can get them off the web. We have no control over that, and I won't tell you that there aren't an odd rogue practitioner who would sell it to a beauty therapist who is inadequately trained.
Meanwhile, plastic surgeon Barry Jones feels that there's also a problem in the classification, labelling and testing of products.
Dermal fillers are classified as implantable medical devices, not as pharmaceuticals. And therefore they don't have the same amount of testing before they're released onto the market, and they don't have to be prescribed by a doctor. I've seen many fillers come on the market and disappear again because there were problems with them. But there is never anything written about the problems.
Following the P.I.P scandal, British authorities are reviewing the laws governing cosmetic interventions and surgery. The report, though, isn't due until March 2013.
In this neighbourhood of Paris, it's not younger, but whiter skin that's on offer. There are several extreme ways to lighten your skin, all of them highly dangerous. The French authorities have taken serious measures to prevent the use of these products, yet African, Asian and Latino communities continue to use them. In this next report, we try to understand how and why. Marie-Therese has accepted to speak to us openly about something that's taboo in her community. The 51-year-old has used corrosive skin whitening products for several years. Today she says she's stopped, but speaks of the practice as an addiction.
Skin whitening, it's a risk. I started to see some blotches, little blotches, and then began to get a little worried. I tried to stop, but it's like a drug. You stop and then you start again.
This afternoon, Marie-Therese has an appointment with a dermatologist at the hospital. It was Isabelle's idea. Her organisation lobbies the French authorities to treat skin whitening as a public health issue, something that was only officially recognised late last year.
People think it's just a case of vanity, whereas it's really a sickness, an addiction.
Dr. Petit works at the Hospital St. Louis in Paris. He's one of the leading skin whitening specialists in France.
Let's have a look at your marks, whether we can still see them.
The doctor has seen many patients who have used and abused the dangerous products. The consequences vary from depigmentation, stains and burns to side effects much more severe.
What we're seeing is the start or the aggravation of illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, severe infections and eye problems.
Several years ago in this African neighbourhood of Paris, it was relatively easy to access extreme whitening creams. Those made with hydroquinone or cortisone, two substances which are now tracked by police who make regular raids on stores. We used a hidden camera to test whether we could purchase the banned products. But 10 stores later, the same response. It's too risky these days.
On m'a dit que ce sont des produits interdits, donc pour ne pas me créer des soucis. D'accord. Parce que déjà, je dois payer une amende de 37 000 euros. Parce que vous vendiez ça? Effectivement.
And yet the dangerous goods arrive regularly in France, almost always from Africa. They're often picked up in the mail. In total, 20,000 whitening creams are seized around the country each year. And this morning, French customs have discovered an impressive array of illegal products.
So here we have several different products. La Bidonnaise is made only with hydroquinone, which whitens the skin and is considered a cosmetic. And here you have the same thing with a steroid, which is considered a medicine. That also whitens the skin.
This is the picture behind the most recent skin whitening scandal. A promotional photo of Beyoncé looking markedly lighter than we've seen in the past. An image that's used by some black women to justify their desire to have whiter skin.
They get the impression that the ideal woman is a woman with light skin. When they see a black woman in the media, they all have fair complexions. When we see Rihanna or Beyoncé, they don't have an ebony skin tone.
This pharmacy has chosen its merchandise carefully. Skin whitening products without hydroquinone. An offer that meets the demands of dark-skinned customers to erase marks and even skin tone without any risk to their health. The irony of the beauty industry is that while one customer is trying to look lighter, another is doing the exact opposite. Tanning beds already come with a long list of health warnings, yet one state in Australia has gone a step further by banning solariums entirely. The country has the highest incidence of skin cancer in the world, and a study from the University of Sydney estimates the decision will save at least 10 lives per year. New South Wales will be the only place in the world besides Brazil to implement a total ban when the law comes into force at the end of 2014.
I'm happy with my teeth.
Not everyone is so happy with their teeth, and many of us are willing to pay a lot of money and go to a lot of trouble for a whiter smile. Across France, a number of so-called bleaching bars are popping up which offer a quick service and for much less than what it costs at the dentist. But before running out to try one of these bars, it might pay to know exactly what's being used and the health controls that are in place.
It's a far cry from the dentist's office. This smile bar promises to whiten customers' teeth in a setting that looks like a beauty salon.
I'm here to whiten my teeth because I drink a lot of coffee and I smoke.
Clients bite into a plastic guard filled with an oxidizing agent, then wait 30 minutes with their teeth exposed to blue light. It's a simple, hands-off treatment, and employees don't need a dental background.
We don't need to check the teeth. We just need to make sure that the person isn't pregnant and they're not a minor.
70 euros later, clients can check the results for themselves.
Yes, there's a big difference.
It worked for this man, but some say such treatments don't do the trick. At this dentist's office in Paris, patients get a meticulous checkup prior to a bleaching. The total visit costs 500 euros, a price some are willing to pay for technical expertise.
It's vital first to make sure the patient doesn't have allergies, that the teeth are healthy and there are no small cracks. There's a handful of things we need to check before deciding on whitening.
Here, the treatment is hands-on. The dentist holds the patient's mouth open and uses cotton swabs to protect the gums from burns. He then applies a bleaching gel made with highly concentrated hydrogen peroxide, a potent mix that only dentists are authorized to use. Questions remain if the sodium perborate used by teeth whitening bars is safe. It may have harmful effects on reproductive health and could be cancerogenic, factors that could dampen the appeal of a trip to the Smile Bar.
And that brings us to the end of this week's show. Don't forget to stay in touch with the health team via Facebook and Twitter, and we look forward to seeing you, as always, next week.